Singapore Changi ground, 9 Victor Zulu Bravo Sierra, ready for pushback with information Romeo, requesting runway 2 center. Holding position, Singapore 8789.
Taxiing to A13 via Victor, Singapore 284. Taxiing to 600 via VHL 11 Golf India.
Air India 7 Sierra Golf, request frequency change.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, Singapore 029 Sierra Quebec. Singapore 63 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, Singapore 63 Heavy. Taxiing to B9 via Lufthansa 069 Heavy.
Singapore 706, hold position.
Holding position, Singapore 706.
Singapore 706, runway 2 center, taxi via contact tower when ready. Singapore 706, disregard last message.
Left on the next taxiway, Singapore 706.
Air India 7 Sierra Golf, contact Singapore Changi Tower on 118.6.
Contacting Singapore Changi Tower on 118.6, Air India 7 Sierra Golf. Singapore Changi ground, China Eastern 929 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Romeo.
Singapore 706, continue straight ahead.
Continuing ahead, Singapore 706.
China Eastern 929 Heavy, runway 2 left, taxi via Whiskey 10, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 2 left via Whiskey 10, China Eastern 929 Heavy.
Air India 27 Alpha, request frequency change. Singapore 706, turn right next taxiway.
Right on the next taxi. Singapore Changi ground, Singapore 4127 Heavy, ready for pushback with information Romeo.
Singapore 4127 Heavy, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Contacting Singapore Changi Tower on 118.6, Victor Tango Alpha Romeo Juliet Heavy. Pushback approved, tail to the north, Singapore 4127 Heavy.
Taxiing to E11 via Sichuan 011 Sierra Charlie. Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec, contact Singapore Changi Tower on 118.6.
Singapore Changi ground, Philippines 455, ready for pushback, requesting runway 2 center.
Contacting Singapore Changi Tower on 118.6, Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec. 9 Victor Zulu Bravo Sierra, pushback approved, tail to the north.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, 9 Victor Zulu Bravo Sierra.
Philippines 455, pushback approved, tail to the west. Singapore Changi ground, Lufthansa 55 Heavy, ready for pushback. Singapore Changi ground, Lufthansa 55 Heavy, ready for pushback, requesting runway 2 left. Singapore 19 Super, say intentions.
Singapore Changi ground, Singapore 29 Heavy, request taxi to parking.
Singapore 29 Heavy, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Singapore 63 Heavy, runway 2 left, taxi via Whiskey 10, contact tower when ready. China Eastern 929 Heavy, give way to aircraft on your left.
Taxiing to runway 2 left via Whiskey 10, Singapore 63 Heavy.
Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec, please follow instructions.
Singapore Changi ground, Boeing 737, request taxi to parking.
Boeing 737, taxi to parking, at your discretion.
Taxi to parking, Boeing 737. Singapore Changi Ground, Philippines 455, ready to taxi to runway 2 center.
Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec, ready to taxi with information Papa.
Philippines 455, runway 2 left, taxi via Whiskey 10.
Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 4127 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Romeo.
Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec, please follow instructions or you will be reported.
Thank you, good day, Boeing 737. Taxiing to runway 2 left via Whiskey 10, Philippines 455. Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 4127 Heavy, ready to taxi with information Romeo.
Singapore 4127 Heavy, runway 2 left, taxi via Whiskey 10, contact tower when ready.
Singapore Changi Ground, 9 Victor Zulu Bravo Sierra, ready to taxi to runway 2 center with information Romeo. Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 4127 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 2 center with information Romeo.
Philippines 455, runway 2 left, taxi via Whiskey 10, contact tower when ready.
Taxiing to runway 2 left via Whiskey 10.
Singapore 4127 Heavy, please follow instructions.
Thank you, good day, DHL 11 Golf.
I'm sorry, Singapore 4127 Heavy. Taxi to parking, Charlie Romeo.
Singapore Changi Ground, Lufthansa 55 Heavy, ready to taxi to runway 2 left.
Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 29, ready for pushback.
Lufthansa 55 Heavy, runway 2 left, taxi via Whiskey 10, contact tower when ready.
Singapore Changi Ground, Thai 410, ready for pushback with information Romeo, requesting runway 2 left.
Taxiing to runway 2 left via Whiskey 10, Lufthansa 55 Heavy. 9 Victor Zulu Bravo Sierra, runway 2 left, taxi via Whiskey 10, contact tower when ready.
Singapore Changi Ground, Speedbird 22 Heavy, request taxi to B9 at the other terminals. Taxiing to runway 2 left via Whiskey 10, 9 Victor Zulu Bravo Sierra.
Singapore 29, hold position.
Holding position, Singapore 29.
Singapore 29, pushback approved, tail to the north. Speedbird 22 Heavy, taxi to B9 via.
Pushback approved, tail to the north, Singapore 29. Taxiing to B9 via, Speedbird 22 Heavy.
Thai 410, hold position. 9 Victor Zulu Bravo Sierra, give way to aircraft ahead.
Give way to aircraft, 9 Victor Zulu Bravo Sierra.
Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 1216 Heavy, request taxi to parking.
Singapore Changi Ground, Qantas 1 X-Ray Super, request taxi to parking.
Singapore 1216 Heavy, taxi to parking, at your discretion. Singapore Changi Ground, Sichuan 011 Sierra Charlie, ready for pushback.
Taxi to parking, Singapore 1216 Heavy.
Sichuan 011 Sierra Charlie, pushback approved, tail to the south.
Singapore Changi Ground, Jackpot 04, ready for pushback.
Singapore Changi Ground, Juliet 3 Zulu Yankee Echo Heavy, request taxi to parking.
Pushback approved, tail to the south, Sichuan 011 Sierra Charlie. Juliet 3 Zulu Yankee Echo Heavy, taxi to parking, at your discretion. taxi to parking, Juliet 3 Zulu Yankee Echo Heavy. Jackpot 04, hold position. Typhoon 10, hold position.
Holding position, 5410. Holding position, jackpot 04. Thank you, good day, Philippines 455.
Singapore Charlie Ground, Singapore 370, ready to taxi to runway 2 center with information Quebec.
Singapore Changi Ground, Singapore 29, ready to taxi to runway 2 center. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 2 center, Singapore 716 Super.
Singapore 167, line up and wait runway 2 center.
Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 4127 Heavy, ready for departure in sequence at runway 2 left, remaining in the pattern.
Sierra Echo Victor India India, 1340 at 5, number 2, runway 2 center, cleared to land.
Number 2, cleared to land, runway 2 center, Sierra Echo Victor India India.
Air India 2615 Heavy, exit runway when Eagle and contact ground, please expedite, traffic on final.
Wilco, Air India 2615.
Singapore 4127 Heavy, line up and wait runway 2 left.
Line up and wait runway 2 left, Singapore 4127 Heavy. Cleared for takeoff, runway 2 center, Singapore 167.
Charlie Foxtrot Juliet Tango Juliet, exit runway when Eagle and contact ground, please expedite, traffic on final.
Wilco, Charlie Foxtrot Juliet Tango Juliet.
Singapore 4127 Heavy, line 340 at 5, runway 2 left, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 2 left, Singapore 4127 Heavy. Singapore 2504 Super, request frequency change.
Singapore 167, frequency change approved, good day.
Singapore Changi Tower, Victor Tango Alpha Romeo Juliet Heavy, ready for departure in sequence at runway 2 center, departing straight out.
Singapore Changi Tower, Emirates 182 Super, inbound on the ILS runway 2 left with information Quebec. Frequency change approved, Singapore 167, good day. Singapore Changi Tower, Delta Alpha Lima Charlie Alpha, inbound on the ILS runway 2 left. Singapore Changi Tower, Delta Alpha Lima Charlie Alpha, inbound on the ILS.
Singapore 4127 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day. Asiana 226.
Frequency change approved, Singapore 4127 Heavy, good day.
Singapore 716 Super, contact Singapore Changi Ground on 124.3.
Wilco, Asiana 226.
Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 186 Golf Golf Heavy, ready for departure in sequence at runway 2 left, departing north.
Contacting Singapore Changi Ground on 124.3, Singapore 716 Super.
Delta Alpha Lima Charlie Alpha, line 340 at 5, number 2, runway 2 center, cleared to land. Emirates.
Thank you, good day, Singapore 4127 Heavy.
Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec, wind 340 at 5, runway 2 left, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 2 left, Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec.
Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec, cancel takeoff clearance, hold position.
Singapore 2504 Super, request frequency change.
Mentari 1521, go around, fly runway heading runway 2 left.
Wilco, Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec.
I'm sorry, Lion 243 Super.
Singapore Changi Tower, Philippines 5352 Heavy is 11 nautical miles to the southwest at 2,000 feet, inbound for landing, requesting runway 2 center.
Sierra Echo Victor India India, exit runway 1 Eagle, contact ground on the taxiway.
Singapore Changi Tower, Philippines 455, ready for departure at runway 2 left, departing east. Wilco, Sierra Echo Victor India India.
Mentari 1521, exit runway 1 Eagle, contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, Mentari 1521.
Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved. Singapore 24 Sierra Quebec. Good day.
Singapore 2504 Super, request frequency change.
Philippines 5352 Heavy, line 340 at 5, number 2, runway 2 center, cleared to land. Lion 243 Super, line 340 at 5, number 2, runway 2 left, cleared to land.
Number 2, cleared to land, runway 2 left, Lion 243 Super.
Number 2, cleared to land, runway 2 center, Philippines 5352 Heavy.
Singapore Changi Tower, Philippines 2003, inbound on the ILS runway 2 center with information Romeo. Delta Alpha Lima Charlie Alpha, exit runway 1 Eagle, contact ground on the taxiway. Emirates 182 Super, exit runway 1 Eagle, contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, Delta Alpha Lima Charlie Alpha.
Philippines 455, line up and wait runway 2 left. Philippines 455, please expedite.
Wilco, Emirates 182 Super. Thank you, Philippines 455.
Singapore Changi Tower, Lufthansa 55 Heavy, ready for departure in sequence at runway 2 left, remaining in the pattern.
Lion 243 Super, is on final runway 2 left, full stop.
Philippines 2003, line 340 at 5, number 2, runway 2 center, cleared to land. Number 2, cleared to land, runway 2 center, Philippines 2003. Philippines 455, please check the user guide from the home screen for help using ATC instructions. Philippines 455, line 340 at 5, runway 2 left, cleared for takeoff. Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 222 Super, inbound on the ILS runway 2 left with information Romeo. Singapore 222 Super, line 340 at 5, number 3, runway 2 left, cleared to land. Number 3, cleared to land, runway 2 left, Singapore 222 Super.
Singapore Changi Tower, Virgin 9281, ready for departure at runway 2 center, departing north. Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 279 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 2 left. Singapore Changi Tower, KLM 786 Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 2 center.
KLM 786 Heavy, line 340 at 5, number 2, runway 2 center, cleared to land. Virgin 9281, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved, Virgin 9281, good day. Number 2, cleared to land, runway 2 center, KLM 786 Heavy.
Singapore 279 Heavy, line 340 at 5, number 1, runway 2 left, cleared to land. Philippines 455, frequency change approved, good day.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 2 left, Singapore 279 Heavy. Frequency change approved. Philippines 455. Good day. Thank you. Good day. Philippines 455.
Singapore 22 Heavy, line 340 at 5, runway 2 left, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Singapore Changi Tower, Vietnam Airlines 650, inbound on the ILS runway 2 center.
Singapore 22 Heavy, please expedite. Vietnam Airlines 650, line 340 at 5, number 2, runway 2 center, cleared to land.
Number 2, cleared to land, runway 2 center, Vietnam Airlines 650.
Philippines 2003, exit runway when Eagle, contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, Philippines 2003.
Singapore 22 Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Frequency change approved. Singapore 22 Heavy, good day.
Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 23 is 13 nautical miles to the southwest at 3,000 feet, inbound for landing with information Romeo, requesting runway 2 left.
Singapore 186 Golf Heavy, line up and wait runway 2 left.
Line up and wait runway 2 left. Singapore 186 Golf Heavy.
KLM 786 Heavy, exit runway when Eagle, contact ground on the taxiway.
Wilco, KLM 786 Heavy. Singapore Changi Tower, Sichuan 874 Sierra Charlie, ready for departure at runway 2 left, departing east.
Singapore Changi Tower, American 1632, ready for departure in sequence at runway 2 center, remaining in the pattern.
Singapore 279 Heavy, request frequency change.
Singapore 279 Heavy, exit runway when Eagle, contact ground on the taxiway.
Singapore Changi Tower, Lufthansa 55 Heavy, ready for departure at runway 2 left, remaining in the pattern.
Wilco, Singapore 279 Heavy. Singapore Changi Tower, Philippines 501 Sierra Heavy, inbound on the ILS runway 2 center with information Romeo.
Attention all aircraft, please only request for takeoff when first in line. Singapore 186 Golf Heavy, line 340 at 5, runway 2 left, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 2 left, Singapore 186 Golf Heavy.
Singapore Changi Tower, Singapore 309 Super, ready for departure at runway 2 center, remaining in the pattern.
Singapore 186 Golf Heavy, cancel takeoff clearance, hold position.
Wilco, Singapore 186 Golf Heavy.
Singapore 186 Golf Heavy, disregard last message.
Singapore Changi Tower, Tai 185, inbound on the ILS runway 2 left.
Philippines 501 Sierra Heavy, wind 340 at 5, number 1, runway 2 center, cleared to land. Lufthansa 55 Heavy, line up and wait runway 2 left. Singapore 23, line 340 at 5, number 1, runway 2 left, cleared to land.
Line up and wait runway 2 left, Lufthansa 55 Heavy.
Number 1, cleared to land, runway 2 center, Philippines 501 Sierra Heavy. Number 1, cleared to land, runway 2 left, Singapore 23.
Singapore 186 Golf Heavy, I'm sorry. Singapore 186 Golf Heavy, frequency change approved, good day.
Wilco, Singapore 222 Super. Singapore Changi Tower,